Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
Hey guys, it's me Falco. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going over another chrono class because I love chrono classes. Today's video, Chronomancer Prime, the first chrono class. In general, it's basically a soloer, not a farmer, but it's pretty nice. Either way, let's begin. Okay guys, so as we all know, we /join Hero Mart, don't we? Yeah. So the class is going to be 6 KACs. You want to buy the 2011 time lock key because the time lock key is going to be the big thing which allows you to open the shop. You'll just come to the time lock shops, 2011, and you'll find Chronomancer Prime with its class, the armor, and also the blade and a cape. Overall, is it worth 6k? Overall, is it worth 6 KACs? Definitely. Go buy it if you want. Okay, museum time. Woo! Let's hear those cheers in chat. Whoa, let's go, guys. So yeah, basically, it's a full look class. Just enhance everything with look if you can. If you don't have forge enhancements, then spiral carve is probably going to be your choice. If you do, I'd say that going lacerate and vim is going to be very useful. Vim gives you extra dodge and basically higher stats if you don't go full look. Choose whatever cape you want. I have like none of the capes, so Vainglory is going to be my guess. But yeah, I enjoy lacerate due to the second skill's super low cooldown. You could do smite as well, but I'd imagine lacerate's slightly better in my opinion, but I'm very biased. Okay, so we're in class hall and I'm going to give you a rundown of the skills and go through everything. Okay, so your auto attack is just a regular auto attack, nothing special. The class runs as any other regular chrono class does, where you stack your time rift and then do your nuke. Super easy. Okay, so your second skill is going to be temporal strike. When you use it, it's going to hit the target and it's going to apply temporal rift to you, and it's basically going to stack to 4, and it's nice. When it says it stacks to 4, that's when it maxes out with damage. On your nuke, it doesn't multiply any further than that. However, the more damage you do in a 10-second period or whatever it is for the nuke, then you will get more damage output through the nuke. It's not based around your temporal rift stacks. Okay, your third skill is going to be rift inversion. This is basically just going to heal yourself. If temporal rift is active, then you get a higher heal depending on the amount of stacks you have. If you have 10, which I just tested, you get like an 1800 heal, which is pretty nice. However, at the same time, you're most likely not going to have that open all the time. This is basically your survivability for the class. It's not like the dodge with time killer. Also, you get a 15% haste increase for 16 seconds, which is always nice. And apparently it always crits when you heal yourself. So I'll just show it off for you guys real quick. I'll get like 3 stacks of temporal rift, and I'll heal myself, a 1500 heal, almost 1600, pretty decent. Okay, your fourth skill is going to be rift collapse. This basically consumes all your stacks of temporal rift and deals damage based on the amount you've dealt within the 10 seconds while temporal rift is active. As it says, the damage scales with each stack of temporal rift up to 4 stacks, and then it consumes all of them. Also has an 80% increased chance to crit. This is basically your nuke. So if I just do the second skill a couple times and then press 4, an 87k crit. Really nice, really simple, not too hard to understand. Your fifth skill is going to be Rift Burn. This is basically going to apply a DOT onto the target and doubles every time it ticks, which is really nice. Also reducing the dodge chance the target has by 15% for 10 seconds, so you're more likely to hit everything, which is really cool. Okay, so as you can see, when we press the fifth skill, it's going to apply the DOT onto the target. 88, 176, 351, should be 352, 702, 1405, and there you go. It deals around 2.5k-ish in DOT, which is pretty nice. And going over the passives again, your rank 4 passive, the first one is Fallback, increasing your dodge chance by 15%. Your second passive is going to be Spring Forward, increasing your critical strike chance, hit chance, and haste by an extra 5%. Okay guys, now it's time for the soloing portion, which is the main portion of the video. I'm going to be using the Felicious Filter, boosting luck by 50%, just like I did with Timekeeper. These are really easy to get, you can just buy them. However, I will give you the combo. What I like to do, I like to start out with 3, then 5, and then you can press 2 6 times, then 5 again, and then press your nuke. Usually gets you the most DPS, as I've tested. I may be messing it up a bit, it may be pressing 2 5 times, and then 5 again, then 4. Generally that's the idea. As long as you have 4 temporal rift stacks up, you'll be doing the most damage you can do, as long as you are using your 2nd and 5th skill as much as possible. Either way, let's continue. I'm going to speed up these fights if need be, but it shouldn't be too difficult. Keep in mind this class does excel with enemies with lower health, so things like 200k and below. Either way, let's continue. Okay, as you can see, the crits are about 300k-ish, really easy. Survivability is a bit harder on this class due to the dodge chance not being as high, so if you wanted to have an increased dodge chance rather than having an increased crit chance, you'll want to change your fallacious filter thing to the thief one for more dodge. You know what I mean. Either way, it's pretty okay once you get into the swing of things, but with high damage enemies it can be a bit of a struggle sometimes. Okay, now we're in the ranks. We're gonna fight him, see how it goes. Shouldn't be too difficult. I will basically put the time frame in the bottom left as I usually try to do with this fight. I imagine it won't be more than about 20 seconds. Maybe a bit more, but we'll see. There you go. Crits were a bit lower this time. It just depends how lucky you kind of get. Really easy. Maybe it was about 30 seconds-ish. Either way, on to the next enemy. Okay, we're with a Blood Titan. Either way, let's continue. As you can see, basically just stomped him. Real easy, not a big deal. You basically get a really strong nuke, which very rarely doesn't crit compared to Timekeeper sometimes. I feel like with Timekeeper you get the nuke on a regular hit more frequently, so that's why I think this class kind of excels with these lower health bosses. Once again, harder hitting enemies may give you a challenge, but also if you're with a party, you'll generally do pretty well. Okay, we're with the Hydra. I'm going to show you what the problem is, what I mean. And yeah, even when I activate stuff like this, if you do get hit, it's game over, that's all I'm saying. There you go, you die instantly, you're dead. You can remove Vim and obviously you will survive that hit. However, at the same time, being able to dodge with Timekeeper for enemies like this is really nice. Okay, we're in Dark World Legion. I'll just show you what the farming is like. Basically, it's going to be really similar to Timekeeper. Besides the 5th skill, you know, it's one of those things. You have a short range, a heal, a long range, and another short range. Obviously, the nuke is nice. You have a heal compared to Timekeeper, which doesn't really have a heal besides a heal over time. However, at the same time, it kind of goes through enemies slightly quicker depending on what you do and which enemies you kill in short range like this, just due to your 2nd skill having the 1.5 second cooldown, and using Lacerate is really useful as well. But yeah, overall it's okay. It's okay at farming, it's not a problem. Okay, that's going to be it for the end of the video, guys. For rating wise, for soloing, I'll give it an S in my opinion. Like most chronos, they excel in soloing and different things which are made for. But I think soloing for this class is an S, slightly lower than Timekeeper just due to the fact that you don't have that survivability with the dodge. And despite Timekeeper also having a heal, this heal is slightly better, but at the same time it isn't enough to help you with those high damage enemies. With farming, probably like a B+, maybe an A-. I think I gave Timekeeper an A, so maybe an A- more so. It just depends on the situation, to be honest. They're definitely not bad for rooms like I show you. However, for the longer ranges, they'll struggle a bit, and for multi-target, you'll want to use something different anyway. I think both classes are really good if you want to compare the two, Timekeeper and Chronomancer Prime. Get either. I think Timekeeper is slightly better in my opinion. However, Chronomancer is definitely not a bad pick for the lower health grinds and farms and solos more so. Stuff like Icewing, however, you'd want to do something like Timekeeper. You just have to keep in mind what you want. I think Timekeeper in general is the wider variety class where you can do more stuff with it, slightly when it comes to soloing. However, Chronomancer Prime is still a solid choice, definitely not a bad class at all. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a good day, good night, good evening, whatever time it may be for you. And I hope to see you guys next time. If this was useful, please give it a like as well. And yeah, bye.